This is the 18 WJTS News. In tonight's news, a two-vehicle crash in Daviess County claimed the life of a Lagodi woman. Wednesday afternoon, 3 local companies served up 750 meals to Memorial Hospital staff. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues, concerns arise for those suffering from addictions. In sports, Kurt Guxel talks with Chris Tretter from Sultan's Run on the new Summer High School Golf League. All this and more coming up next on the 18 WJTS News. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Bill Potter with the WJTS News. Indiana State Police are investigating a fatal two-vehicle crash in Daviess County. State troopers responded to a crash involving a semi-tractor trailer and a passenger car on US 231 at Deerfield Drive near Odin on Wednesday morning. The driver of the passenger car, identified as 64-year-old Brenda Fields of Lagodi, was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the Freightliner semi, identified as 43-year-old Hector Fajardo of Indianapolis, was not injured in the crash. Police believe that Fields struck the semi before going off the roadway, causing her vehicle to flip over. The Dubois County Health Department is reporting an additional case of COVID-19 today. This brings the county's total to 23 confirmed cases. Local health officials are working closely with the Indiana State Department of Health to ensure that all contacts of the patient have been identified and monitored. Anyone who may have an exposure risk has been or is being notified about potential exposures so that appropriate infection control procedures can be followed. The patient is in isolation. Dubois County Health Officer Dr. Ted Wafflert notes, with the increase of cases this week, it is obvious that COVID-19 is still present in our community. We must continue to be vigilant in our fight against the virus. Wafflert continues to say, we cannot take this disease for granted and let our guard down. Please be responsible by using cloth masks and social distancing in public. Dubois County Health Department encourages all to be safe and take precautions if you must leave your home. Maintain physical distancing, 6 feet, wash your hands, and wear a face mask. Spencer County Health Department is informing the public on the different classifications of COVID-19 in their county. Spencer County Health Department has confirmed 8 positive cases of COVID-19 in Spencer County, with 5 tests being lab confirmed and 3 tests being clinically diagnosed. A lab-confirmed test is a test diagnosed by a health provider and has a positive test result from an ISDH-approved COVID-19 test. A clinically diagnosed test is a test diagnosed by a healthcare provider and has symptoms of COVID-19, but was either not tested, had a negative test, or had a positive test result from a COVID-19 test not approved by the ISDH. Currently, isolation and self-quarantine requirements are the same for both classifications. The patient must home quarantine for 14 days from the onset of symptoms and be fever-free for at least 72 hours. Currently, Spencer County Commissioner's emergency proclamation states that the courthouse will remain on limited public access until May 5th. All offices are available by phone, mail, or by appointment, and the drop box is available for tax payments, court documents, payments, and more. Toyota is postponing its restart date for another week. The company will now resume North American manufacturing operations the week of May 11th. According to a statement, the company made the decision after an extensive review with their supplier and logistics network. Toyota says they will gradually resume operations while abiding by federal health and safety guidelines and the local and state ordinances where facilities are located. Governor Eric Holcomb has announced a contact tracing plan to help contain the spread of COVID-19. The state is partnering with Maximus to investigate 4 Hoosiers who test positive for COVID-19. Both this plan and the partnership with Optum will significantly expand testing across the state and is an essential component of efforts to safely reopen Indiana. Contact tracing involves identifying individuals who have tested positive for an illness and asking questions about who they were in contact with during their infectious period, then notifying those close contacts of their exposure. Plans call for hiring at least 500 employees who will be trained in contact tracing and investigations by ISDH subject matter experts. The call center is expected to be operational around May 11th. 3 local companies and organizations recently teamed up to keep Memorial Hospital and staff members fed and ready to fight against COVID-19. Representatives from Kimball International and the Hobbig Foundation, along with Tim Flick and staff from Fueled Strength Meals, came to the hospital on Wednesday afternoon to serve up 750 meals to hospital staff for lunch. Fueled Strength Meals provided the meals with their food trailer, and Kimball International staff assisted. Although the weather didn't cooperate for outdoor celebration, there were lots of smiles as leaders from departments throughout Memorial Hospital picked up meals for their staff. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have released some tips on how to run essential errands safely. When out shopping for food or other household essentials, make sure to stay home if you're sick. Order online or use curbside pickup if possible. Protect yourself while shopping by wearing a mask and stay at least 6 feet away from others. And use hand sanitizer frequently. When accepting deliveries and takeout orders, limit in-person contact as much as possible and wash your hands or use hand sanitizer after accepting deliveries or collecting mail. Bank online when possible, and if you're getting gas, use disinfecting wipes on handles or buttons before you touch them. If you need to see a doctor or get medicine, utilize telemedicine if at all possible. If you must visit in person, make sure to protect yourself by covering your face with a cloth and staying at least 6 feet away from others. Also, limit your in-person visits to the pharmacy as much as possible. Use drive-through windows, curbside pickup, or mail order to get your medicine. For more information, head to cdc.gov/coronavirus. The June 2nd primary is coming up, and because of the global pandemic, things will be a little different this year in Indiana due to the circumstances surrounding the COVID-19 crisis. The bipartisan Indiana Election Commission voted to implement several changes for the upcoming primary election, which has been moved from May 5th to June 2nd. The most notable change allows Hoosiers to vote by mail with an absentee ballot. Through in-person voting and early voting will still be available. Registered voters who wish to vote through the mail may request an absentee ballot by filling out a form and returning it to their local election board via mail, email, fax, or hand delivery. Alternatively, that is, registered voters can use Indiana's voter portal to request an absentee ballot directly without having to go through their local election board. Voters need to log in, navigate to the left side of the portal, and click on absentee voting. Then vote by mail and submit the form. The application must be completed and received by the County Election Board or the Indiana Election Division by May 21st. After an application has been received, the voter will be mailed a primary election ballot. The voter must then complete the ballot and return it to the County Election Board by noon local time on Election Day, June 2nd. The new voter registration deadline is Monday, May 4th. For more information on how to register to vote, check your voting status, or view a ballot and more, visit indianavoters.com. Now, as the COVID-19 pandemic continues, concerns fall to those who are suffering from addictions. Heather Terwisky is the LCSW Clinical Supervisor of Crisis Assessment and Intervention Team at Memorial Hospital and Healthcare Center in Jasper. She says that while she hasn't seen an increase in drug use or relapses, stressful times like these can lead to an increase in alcohol use.
Some of that is, really just due to alcohol being very socially accepted in our area. And some of it is just people may see that as a effective coping skill where it may not be.
LCSW Crisis Intervention Specialist with Memorial Hospital and Healthcare Center Jennifer Merkley stated, now that people are off work or working from home, this could lead to a false sense of security.
In regards to people working from home or being off work, there's more freedom and less accountability with the workforce. which could potentially allow for them to increase their use of alcohol or other substances.
Trubisky stated that the stay-at-home order can impact substance users or those in recovery due to the lack of routine or the new normal. Trubisky stated that a new normal, such as not going to work or being away from family and friends, can be unnerving, which can lead to depressive symptoms. These symptoms can lead to unhealthy coping mechanisms such as substance abuse. Trubisky says that there are plenty of ways for those suffering from addiction or those in recovery to find help during this time.
You know, there are a lot of online platforms that people can use. I think many things don't necessarily have to be face-to-face. I know that AA and NA, some of those are being held by telephone conferencing. Some of them are being held by either Zoom technology or some other online platform. There's also a lot of outpatient counseling centers that are using the teletherapy platform, so you can still continue to get that mental health support.
If you're currently seeking help, Memorial Counseling Center is offering telehealth services. To learn more or to schedule an appointment, call 812-996-5780, 812-996-5780, choose option 1. Area crisis lines are also available for Memorial Hospital and Healthcare Center's crisis line. Call 812-827-6222, 827-6222. For LifeSpring Health Systems crisis line, call 812-482-4020, 482-4020. Tune in tomorrow as WJTS TV continues our conversation with Heather Trubisky and Jennifer Merkley on how you can find help if you are struggling with substance abuse at this time. Now stay tuned. Weather and then sports with Kurt Guxell featuring Chris Treader from Sultan's Run on the new Summer High School Golf League. Still to come on 18 WJTS News.